Holey Jebus. Going back for about 2,000 years, priests have always had rather queer inclinations. The current pope, actually called Ratzinger, a former Nazi, is currently protecting at least 19 pedophiles that were priests in the United States of America, where we have laws that actually put pedophiles in prison, where they belong to be kept for a very long time for molesting small children. In priests' cases, usually young boys, like 6 to 7 years old. As much as we despise these horrible, hideous, sickening criminal pedophiles, we've designed a line of garments specially suited for them and their filthy, heinous, disgusting religious criminal actions, fostered by religion, allegedly the word of their God. Here we see the Pope, a creepy, hideous creature who's protecting pedophiles and promoting them, at least 19 of them that have been accused of committing child molestation and pedophilia. Pretty serious crimes in the United States of America, but apparently the very moral Pope doesn't consider them much of a real issue. Here we see him receiving his... It looks like a young boy, actually. You can't tell for certain, but it looks like the Pope is being pleasured by the young man's presence, as priests so often do with young boys. Since the Pope and his accomplices and accessories have an affinity for young boys' testicles and pleasuring themselves while on the watch, we've designed a special garment collection for these hideous, disgusting pedophiles. It brings a new meaning to the word holy. Let's take a look. First, there's a rather conservative look. We call this one the Holy Smock. Jesus would be proud, wouldn't he? We call this special treasure the frock-a-doodle-doo, because the frocked priest gets to, it's rather grotesque to mention and certainly criminal, but these priests and clergy certainly enjoy it, and the Pope has blessed them and promoted them to higher duties, where they're able to molest young boys in very private confines within the Vatican and other particular places within the Roman complex, where the Pope has personally placed them as a favor and a great reward for their criminal pedophilia. Here we see a junior holy frock and a senior holy frock. One has, you might say, tenure. Here we see the classic black Deuteronomy. This allows the priest to doodle himself during off hours where only several hundred poor people are coming in to ask for help. This also allows the priest to receive his penisness. Penance. Usually from young boys, and in doing so he's committing a criminal act, a felony in United States of America. Many priests have actually been promoted by the pedophilic guarding creepy Pope to Vatican offices where they can work more privately and more closely with young boys who are learning about Christianity and Catholicism and, of course, criminal pedophilia. And here we see quite an effective model for the low-profile minister. This one's called the Takemoto. It allows a young boy to get right in on the action. Of course, the priest at that point would be guilty of criminal pedophilia. This particular casual item we call the gravy monkey. It allows a monk to, serve his gravy. Of course, to underage boys committing criminal pedophilia, which is a staple among religious cults. And here's another one of our very fine garments, with the holiest of holies. We call this one the loose monkey, because it provides ample room for small monkey-sized hands to reach in and do their dirty work. Of course, there's a legal disclaimer on the garment itself that the monk or priest, reverend, minister, etc. that commits these foul acts is guilty under the laws unless the Pope intercedes and removes you and promotes you to a higher office at the Vatican, where you're free to molest children in the very private confines of the secured Vatican complex. That way you're free from any pedophilia crimes and anywhere throughout the world, because the Pope, with all his majestic morals and values and ethics, is protecting you, a pedophile. Here we see our Canterbury collection. It's suited for pedophiles in every denomination. Mostly Christians, of course, since they have the worst record on pedophilia, if you look at it as a bad thing. If you look at it as a good thing, like the Pope does, you actually have the highest honors by protecting 19 child molesters and pedophiliacs and harboring them at the Vatican under a safe roof, where pedophilia is considered a good thing by the Pope's standards, the high moral standards of the Pope's God, this God person who allows pedophilia and condones it. Sounds like this God person should be in prison. Here we see the dainty white Pope Spectacular. This particular garment is full service. It has full access for young boys to maneuver, and of course for the Pope to be committing extraordinary forms of criminal pedophilia, which he does regularly. He's a pedophile. That's really what he does. P for Pope, P for pedophile.